Hello and welcome everybody to the webinar. I, Ms. Raza, cordially welcome you all. Thank you for participating. And this webinar is arranged by Linguistics and Pedagogy Webinars. And we have very knowledgeable and qualified speakers for you all. And all the people who will participate actively will receive the certificates as well. And good evening and good morning and good afternoon and also good night maybe to some people, like there are a lot of people from different countries, so we welcome you all. And today the topic is pedagogical approaches, blended learning, and the speaker we have is Mr. L Santosh Kumar. He's a PhD scholar. And now without further ado, I will call Dr. Santosh to introduce himself and to the topic, and here he is. Hello, sir. Welcome.
Yeah, hello sir. Hello sir. Yeah, greetings to every one of you. I'm Mr. L. Santosh Kumar. I'm pursuing my full-time PhD on English literature at Bishop College, Autonomous, Tiruchirappalli, Tamil Nadu, India. First of all, it gives me immense pleasure to meet the people around the globe virtually in this pandemic era. One of the greatest thing is that even though the world is being struck by the pandemic boom, yet then academicians around the globe are doing their work sincerely. And next thing is that I would like to place my heartfelt and sincere thanks to the organizing crew of this webinar for giving me an opportunity to for giving me an opportunity to exhibit my talent here. Thank you so much to the entire crew, and thanks to the host who has been helping me technically right from yesterday until now and till the end of this webinar. He'll be with us. Thank you so much, sir, for being with me, and
Thank you, sir.
yeah, with great sense of joy and with great sense of excitement. I would like to enter into my topic. So
Oh,
you can just start sharing. Can just start sharing the screen.
okay, sir.
Yeah. Yeah, people, see the topic which we are going to discuss here, or which I'm going to just share with you people, is that pedagogical approaches of blended learning. Okay, first I just wanted to give a very brief intro about the topic. When this particular topic was circulated in the social networks, and also to my friend circle, most of my friends, they question me, do you think this title is the need of the hour? They asked me, and my answer to them was yes, it's the need of the hour. As I said in the beginning of my talk, world is undergoing so many paradigmatic shifts, which is the need of the hour. And at the same time, and also at the same time, the teaching approaches, okay, the teaching methodologies have to be enhanced so that the student community will be benefited. The role of a good teacher or a professor, instead of categorizing professor and teacher, the role of the educators is to make things easy and comfortable for the students. When these things are made comfortable, obviously the students, they will be in the good students, obviously they will be the good product in the job market. This is very a basic thing which I just wanted to share here. And this particular my particular talk will in my particular talk uh, will definitely help you will definitely help each and every one of you who are here to enlighten, okay, to enlighten or to enhance your career, or to how to be a good educator in the coming days. That's the only thing here. And okay, as rightly pointed out, the topic here is the pedagogical approaches of blended learning. As all of you know, the pedagogical approaches here is that the teaching methodologies. What are the methodologies that the faculty is being expected to do, or what they are doing, and how does this some blended learning comes into existence, or what role it has got in the teaching approaches. Okay, blended learning might be a new term for some of you, but blended learning as a concept or as a phenomenon, it is existing. Okay, it is existing. And after the advent of globalization, the world is undergoing so many paradigmatic shifts, and even in the education, we are undergoing so many paradigmatic shifts after this pandemic boom. And without education, okay, without education or without online teaching, no one can survive in this world. Whereas in the at the beginning of the talk, I just wanted to give a few I just wanted to give a famous line which I read it in the social networking site long back. I just apologies to me. Kindly apologize. Kindly apologize that the quote which I'm going to utter here is being uttered by a particular person. I just forgot its name. Completely apologize me for that. Okay. Okay. Technology in the hands of great teachers. Okay. Technology in the hands of great teachers can be transformational. Okay, after this pandemic boom, I could see so many educators, they come out with a question that whether technology can replace teachers. What so? Just try to think about I think about the people who come from below poverty line, or just try to think about the people who represent the lowest strata, who come from lowest strata, where for those people they struggle from certain basic rights. So that was the question which was pointed to by the educators. Whereas this particular quote which impressed me a lot. Okay, technology cannot replace teachers, but technology in the hands of great teachers can be transformational. So, by default and by unconsciously, we are into the blended learning. Okay, in the good old past. Okay, in the good old past, I mean exactly 10 years back. And the concept of blended learning would have been a new phenomenon for us, whereas in the contemporary scenario we are into it and it will continue forever. This is the thing. Next slide please. Yeah, the pedagogical approaches. The approaches which we are going to see today here is that the constructivist approach, collaborative approach, integrative approach, reflective approach, and inquiry based approach. These are the five approaches which we are going to see here, and all these five approaches will enhance the teaching community to be different. How unique they should be. Gone are those days where teachers, the teaching community, they will be blaming the students by stating the fact that even though we do might and hard work, yet then we are not able to give a productive result to student community. Gone are those days. Whereas in the contemporary times, the educationists all around the globe, it is a universal call where they expect every teaching faculty to have a diverse mode, to have a different mode of teaching. Once they are unique in their mode of teaching, obviously they can make students to induce that particular subject. Okay, this is one of the basic thing. And first we can see about constructivist approach. Next slide. Okay, constructivist approach. What do you mean by this particular approach? Okay, here in this particular slide, you could see pictures which discusses or instead of saying discusses, which in this particular slide you could see a picture with the title "Designing a Learning Environment." Okay, here the constructive approach. What does it expect a teacher to be, or what does it expect a faculty to be? The reason is that, okay, this in this constructive approach, a faculty is said to be a faculty is expected. A faculty is expected to play a role of a student. Okay, just imagine and see. Don't mistake me that how a faculty can play a role of a student. Don't think like that. It's a very simple thing is that in this particular approach, a particular text, okay, a text can be of any form. It can be of any discipline. Okay, a particular text will be presented in the classroom, and the students, they have to grasp things. The role of a teacher is just to be a moderator, and also at the same time the teacher has to play the role of a student. A particular problem will be presented to a student. Okay, and the teacher of the teacher of the particular class, he or she will tell them to understand, he or she will tell them to learn those particular concepts very clearly. Okay, the role of a student here is that he or she should understand the things very effectively. Once they started to understand things very effectively, there comes the process of creative thinking. This is thinking outside the box. Okay, as the educators, most of the educators around the globe, they believe in the good old concept of rote learning method. They believe in that. Whereas in the contemporary times, as we all know, a student is expected to be unique. Whatever profession he is, he or she can sprung from various backgrounds. But what makes them to be unique is that how do they think? How do they think laterally? How unique they are? and how is their presentation, their attitude, and their solution to a particular problem. Okay, this is what makes a student to be unique in the contemporary times. Okay, gone are those days where a student is being judged only in terms of marks, whereas in the contemporary times, student is being judged not only in terms of his marks but also because of his attitude in the sense that, please try to take in a very positive sense, how he understands the subject, the how he understands the subject concept, and how he presents it to the forum. Okay, anyone can talk. Okay, I just wanted to say is that anyone can deliver a lecture, or anyone can converse in English, but the point is that how effective we are, how unique we are. So as we all know, the world has become so competitive. So the role of a teacher here in this particular approach, it expects the teacher, as I said before, to play a role of a student. Okay, for example, I being a teacher, if I be a teacher, I'll just enter into the if I enter the classroom, I'll be just presenting a particular text or a problem to the students, and I will just ask them, what are your interpretations, what do you infer from this? And as a teacher, when I make them to undergo this process, I should respect the students comments, whether it is good or bad. Whether it's good or bad, I should accept it. And sometimes when the students, when they start to interpret things, when they start to come out of their cocoon, obviously that is the first success of the constructivist approach. As the word constructivist, what do you mean by the term construction? It is about building, okay, building up of own ideas or thoughts. So here the constructivist approach, the role of a teacher is expected to play a role of a student, and at the same time he or she is said to be the kindred, he or she is supposed to be the kindred spirit for a student. It is a well-known fact that once we enter this profession as a faculty, we are here for the students, we are here to ignite their minds. Okay, we are here to ignite their minds, and by default we should be their kindred spirits. So this particular approach, it enables the students to think on their own, and at the same time it is a role of a teacher to understand how unique particular students in the classroom are. Okay, your class might be blessed with 40 students, some classes will be 20 students, but all those 40 people should be given equal chance in this approach, so that as a teacher or as a facilitator of this approach, you can come up with so many ideas. So this approach, it mainly works out when a teacher, a faculty, he or she accepts to play the role of a student, to play the role of a facilitator. This is one of the basic thing of constructivist approach. And next slide please. Okay, and this particular approach is that collaborative approach. What do you mean by this collaborative approach? The word collaboration. Okay, collaboration is that combining everyone. Combining everyone is said to be in collaboration. And this particular approach, it expects the faculty to make the students to be in a single roof. Okay, in the constructivist approach, whereas a particular problem is being presented, and the role of a faculty is to be a facilitator and also to get into the shoes of the students in the constructivist approach. Whereas in the collaborative approach, a single project will be, instead of saying a project, a single text. Okay, in terms of literary background, I can say text. Whereas in terms of science discipline, what I can say is that a single problem or a single theorem is being presented to a student, will be presented to the students, okay, in the classroom. And the students, they should sit and work together. Okay, work together in the sense that all of them combiningly, they should sit and they should find out the root causes, how this particular theorem is being derived in terms of scientific discourses. When it comes to literature background, the students, they should able to understand the pros and cons. For example, if you take a people who sprung from literary background, okay, this particular approach will be very easy for the faculties, because the thing is that when a faculty, when he or she, when they present a text in the classroom, okay, the role of a very good English faculty is that first they will ask the students, did you read the poem? For example, I'm saying, did you read the poem? What are the inferences you could make? And a good professor will say that please try to forget the title of the poem, and please try to forget the title of the poet. Okay, and they will be asking, what are your inferences? How do you interpret? Okay, at that time, what happened? We could find multiple interpretations. Okay, multiple interpretations. At the same time, where a teacher, the professor at that time, where he or she will be able to analyze this particular interpretation is found to be good. Yeah, a professor can easily point out that this particular interpretation made by this particular undergraduate or postgraduate is really interesting. I just expect the class to merge with him. Whereas this particular student, okay, when he starts to interpret, and with the particular professor, he finds it that, okay, out of all the interpretations given by the student, I found that this interpretation is quite interesting, and it makes sense. And obviously, what happens is that the role of a good professor, or a good professor who plays the role of facilitator, he or she will encourage other students to understand the interpretation made by that particular student, and then they will make them, and then they will the teacher will make the students to work together, to be in a one roof. Obviously, what happened is that when a particular interpretation goes into existence, each and every student, they will be viewing it from each and every perspective. See, text will give multiple interpretations. Okay, I repeat, in terms of literary background, text will give multiple interpretations, but at the same time, when a single interpretation is being taken into account, okay, when a single interpretation is being taken into account, what happened is that when in a class a pair of 20 members are there, a single interpretation, when it is being reviewed by 20 students, it will give a different multifaceted thoughts. Okay, it will give different multifaceted thoughts, and the outcome is that student will be able to grasp things very effectively. And also at the same time, the joy of learning, okay, the joy of togetherness, the concept of collective learning, everything matters a lot, and all these things will come into existence when the collaborative approach is being practiced by a faculty in the classroom. Okay, this is the thing. I just wanted to a very short recap. When it comes to constructivist approach, the role of the role of a faculty is to play the role of a facilitator. He or she will present a text or a problem, and they will ask each and every individual student to interpret, and they will ask them to, and the faculty will try to get into the shoes of the student, and they will make the student to interpret on their own. Okay, whereas when it comes to collaborative approach, everyone will be again given a chance to interpret, and the role of a faculty who plays the role of facilitator, he or she will identify one particular interpretation given by the that student, and that particular interpretation will be reviewed by the students who are working with them, so that the students will come out with multifaceted thoughts of that particular interpretation. Okay, this is the and as I said before, in collaborative approach, the concept of collective learning plays a vital role, and there lies the success of the teacher. Okay, use of blackboard, or use of a chalk, everything matters a lot, but at the same time, we are living in a society where students, they wanted every faculty to present the facts. Okay, they just wanted to present the facts in a very easy manner. Okay, as I always say, Google is said to be the best guru for student community, even for educators like us. For us, when we don't have any idea about a particular concept, we just Google it. Okay, students are in the contemporary times, they are much advanced with when it comes to technological equipments, they are much advanced than the faculties, and we should admit it. Okay, we should admit that fact. Whereas one of the basic thing here is that, what I just wanted to say here is that, through constructivist and collaborative approach, or to all the approaches, what I want to say here is that it is the role of a teacher to change his or her methodology. Okay, and the concept of blended learning plays a vital role in all these approaches. Okay, blended learning is how the use of technological aids in the classroom. Okay, technological aids in the classroom, and a teacher can employ, okay, can make use of the technological aids in the classroom for constructivist approach and even for the collaborative approach. That's the thing. Next slide. Okay, integrative approach. Okay, what do you mean by, okay, what do you mean by this integrative approach? Okay, this integrative approach, it mainly emphasizes on the four skills. Okay, listening, speaking, I mean the LSRW skills: listening, speaking, reading, and writing. Here in this slide, you could see it starts with a plan, and then it goes to act, then observe, then reflect. Okay, listening, speaking, reading, and writing. And this particular slide, okay, this particular slide, instead of saying particular slide, this particular approach, okay, it makes the students, okay, it makes the students to enhance their four LSR, it makes them to enhance their LSRW skills. Okay, the role of a faculty, as I said before, they will be playing the role of a facilitator. They will become, they will once the moment when the faculty enters the classroom, what they do here is that they will be asking them, okay, they will be asking their students, okay, they'll be asking their students about the syllabus plan and everything. Okay, I'm just saying it a very I'm just saying one of the very basic protocols happens in the classrooms. Okay, with this particular regard to approach, okay, when a faculty enters the classroom, okay, he or she, first they will first they will read the text, or they will read the content which is prescribed in their syllabus. Okay, which is prescribed in the syllabus. And then they will ask, they should ask the students how we can execute it. Okay, how we can execute it. And the faculty here they should, they should listen to the outputs given by the students. Okay, student in the contemporary times, they expect the faculty, as I often say, as I very often say, they expect the faculty to be unique. Okay, once our mode of teaching is completely different, obviously even the student who hates our class will come and sit in our class when our mode of teaching gets enhanced and when our mode of teaching is completely unique. Okay, when a teacher presents a particular theorem, or when a teacher presents a particular chapter in the class, okay, about if she says, okay, dear people, today we can talk on this particular integrative approach. Okay, the role of a faculty here is that first he or she should tell them, these are the basic traits of pedagogical approaches, where in this integrative approach, where we can find where you can improve your LSRW skills. And after presenting it, we should ask, the role of a faculty here is that he or she should invite the students. Okay, people, come on, tell me how you can improve your LSRW skills, come on. At that time, students by default, they will start they will be opening their mouth. They will say, sir or ma'am, to improve our listening skills, we should do this kind of task. To improve our reading skills, we should execute this kind of particular strategy. Like that, they will be having certain strategies. Okay, this was this particular approach it talks about. Okay, plan. The plan is here is the faculty, the facilitator. He or she is said to be the planner. And the act here is that he or she, when they present of what they're going to discuss today is in the class. And then observe here that the feedback, okay, the feedback or output given by the students. Okay, how they can enhance their 4 LSRW skills. And just saying it an example, for integrative approach. And after that, okay, very important aspect, reflect. Okay, reflect here, this particular term matters a lot in the pedagogical approaches. Okay, reflect here, what does it indicate here is that in this particular approach here is that when the faculty, okay, when he or she listens the feedback given by the students, it is the bound duty of the faculty to get accommodated, okay, to get accommodated to the students need, students style, so that he or she can cater their needs. Okay, after listening to it, a faculty, he or she will come to a conclusion. Okay, they should come to a conclusion by stating the fact that, okay, our mode of teaching should be like this, so that we can make the people to be attentive. Even a student who is inattentive in my class, I can make them to be attentive. So this is the integrative approach. Okay, the one of the major thing about integrative approach is to make people to be connected. Okay, here I just wanted to quote a very famous quote of Barry Commoner. He's a renowned ecologist. You people might ask me, so what role we have? what role we have ecology with pedagogical approaches. We don't have any role, but this particular quote will be apt to our webinar. That is, everything is connected to everything else. I repeat, okay, everything is connected to everything else. So as I say, when a plan is being presented, obviously those things will be executed effectively, and when those things are being executed effectively, the facilitator will observe things. Then after that, he or she will reflect on the thoughts, or will reflect on the comments uttered by the student community in the four walls of the classroom. To put it very effectively, in the virtual era, the way we can say, in the Zoom room and the Google room, in the Google Meet room, and in the StreamYard or whatever a social application app. So it is the it makes the people to be connected. Okay, okay, connected. So connectedness and connectivity is one of the very essential trait in the teaching career. And every teacher, when a teacher is able to connect things effectively to student community, then there lies the success of the teacher, and every educator is striving for it. That's the thing. Next slide. Okay, here what you could say, a reflective approach. Okay, what do you mean by this, a reflective approach? Okay, this reflective approach, it talks about, okay, it purely, instead of saying purely, it mainly emphasize on the reflections understood by the student after reading a particular piece of text, or or input, in other words, it, whatever words is being uttered by the faculty in the classroom. And when a student, he or she has got that ability to grasp all those things, and after that, when she started to reflect it in the class effectively, there lies the success of the teacher, and that is said to be a reflective approach. Okay, as I said before, we can say a reflective approach, we can say it in a very two different sense. First sense is that whatever is being given in a book, okay, when a student is being able to interpret things, okay, when she's able to associate things with the current happenings, okay, current happenings, so that is said to be reflective approach. And whatever word is being uttered by a particular professor in that particular class about the particular concept, and those particular students, when they are able to grasp things effectively, and when they're able to recall it, when they're able to recall it effectively, that is said to be a reflective approach. Okay, what I can say here is that in this particular reflective approach, it expects the faculties to be updated with the current happenings which is happening in and around the globe. Okay, just imagine and see, when after this pandemic boom, okay, after this pandemic boom, when things get converted into the online mode, obviously what happened is that was students, they expect the teachers to be somewhat different. Okay, different in the sense is that, okay, when certain kind of webinars, or when a classroom teachings are being conducted in the Zoom room or in a Google Meet room, where the particular faculties, they'll be having the virtual background. Okay, so that what happened is that students, even though their video and audio is being muted, even by just looking at the virtual background, at least they'll be trying to be attentive in the class. Okay, and certain professors, they'll be having their virtual background something related to their subjects, so that the students will be aware that they are this particular hour, and in this particular hour we are going to reflect on a particular topic, which is the need of the hour. Okay, so here the faculty, okay, instead of simply saying, the faculty should be an all-rounder. Okay, faculty should be an all-rounder, and he or she should be able to grasp things effectively. Okay, effectively here, what I just wanted to say here is that association of ideas. Okay, association of ideas matters a lot for a faculty. Okay, please try to understand. Okay, he or she should be able to equate the content in the text with the current happenings. And people in this room can ask me a question while viewing it through YouTube: is it possible to connect, to associate things with the current happenings? Obviously things are there. Okay, things are there. Since I am from literature background, if you ask me, is it possible? Okay, in literature there's a theory called the diaspora literature. Okay, can you associate diaspora with the current happening around the globe? Okay, I can equate. Okay, in the context of Indian scenario, I can talk about the plight of migrant workers. Okay, the plight of migrant workers who are said to be homeless, who undergo the concept of homelessness. And they also just imagine, see, diaspora in the very good sense, people they talk about migration to another land, whereas in the contemporary times the concept of homeland diaspora is triggering like anything else. So I can just associate it, I can just like that. You like that people who the faculties who are here in this meeting room, please try to equate, okay, please try to associate the concepts which you are going to deliver to the student community with the current happenings. Okay, so that what they will do is that they believe, okay, so that they will not stick to the rote learning method. They will just start to think, okay, thinking, making a student to think is the success of a teacher. So this is what, okay, here in this particular slide you could see reflect, plan, act, and observe. Okay, this is what thing you should make the student to undergo this particular concept. Okay, when I talk about diaspora, when I started to talk about the concept of migrant workers, okay, the particular students in the classroom who sprung from literary background, they can associate it very easily. They can say, yes sir, we can think about the particular accident, train accident, which shook the entire nation, where the government said that we did not know how it happened. So all these things, okay, when we make the students to interact with us, and when our teaching gets reflected in their mode of thinking, that is more than that, okay, more than that, a teacher more than that, for a faculty, a sense of sorry, when a particular student is able to reflect our thoughts, okay, is able to reflect our thoughts with the current happening, and also instead of more than saying reflecting on our thoughts, when those particular things found to be very effective, there lies the success of a teacher. And to be honest, a teacher there, a faculty there, get a self satisfaction. We all know, only in this profession we have a self satisfaction. So we could see, we could gain that self satisfaction when reflective approach is when it takes place very properly in the four walls of the classroom. Okay, self satisfaction can be understood, can be felt by us very easily when students understand our concepts very effectively. To make them understand very effectively, for that we should be very unique in our approach. That's what right from the beginning till now I'm telling. Okay, this is the thing here. Next slide. Next slide. Okay, enquiry. Okay, enquiry approach. Okay, here this particular slide it talks about. Okay, here in this slide to say the findings. Sorry, in the heading you could find ideas for enquiry based learning. Okay, the role of a faculty here, okay, very importantly, the role of a faculty in this approach here is that he or she should be a learning things daily. Okay, he or she should have updation on their subject. Okay, he or she should be having updation on their subject. And also the same time, they should make students to cultivate, okay, they should make students to cultivate the habit of inquiry. Inquiry here is that how these things are happening. Okay, just imagine and see. With if, for example, what I can say is that when this pandemic boom started to happen, the mode of education has started to become the online mode. Okay, once we enter into the online mode, is it possible for every student to attend at the? Is it possible for every student to connect to us at the given specific time? Okay, all these things should we should make students to think upon it. Okay, just imagine and see, in the good old past, okay, in the good old past, people believe that a student will gain a discipline only when he or she enters his school or college premises. Okay, whereas in this pandemic boom, almost even though few colleges, even though certain education institutions are being open for a group, for a few set of students, for the remaining students, things are taking place only through online mode. Okay, if this online mode continues, okay, for example, I'm saying, if this online mode continues, will it be a healthy practice for the teachers and for the students? Okay, here you could see, first I presented you the problem, then I presented you the solution, then I'm making you people to think. Okay, this is one of the very basic thing is that okay, I think is that the faculty here, here, even though every faculty of their domain, they are said to be the authorities in their specialized areas. When they teach a particular paper in the four walls of the classroom, Okay, they should make the students to think laterally. Okay, this enquiry approach is thing is that students should not blindly believe what the faculty utters in the classroom. Okay, when the student they started to think, okay, for that student cannot in the beginning itself, they cannot started to inquire. What we as a faculty should do is that we should present the ideas to them, and we should present the possibilities. These are the scope for further research, and these are the areas where we can explore. Like that, when you present those concepts to them, and obviously the student in the present scenario, or whether they made of whatever age or whatever decade it might be, or they may be of whatever century, they will just started to ask question. They will start to do a self retrospection of themselves. When they started to do it, there begins the enquiry approach. Okay, this is the thing. Okay, and one of the very basic thing is that okay, pedagogical approach. One of the basic thing about pedagogical approaches is that of almost all the approaches which we have seen here, what I can say or what I can sum up here is that it is the role of a student. Okay, it is the role of a student it is the role of a student to grasp the teacher's content very effectively, and to make that happen, the faculties they should try to get into the shoes of the students. By trying to get into the shoes of the students, their mode of teaching should be completely different. How unique they are. See, again, I'm repeating how unique a teacher should be is that just imagine and see, when you try to associate ideas with the current happenings in the four walls of the classroom with the particular subject. Obviously, he or she by default, the students they will understand the concepts very effectively. Okay, teaching concept. Okay, teaching concept, it does not it does not expect the faculty only to go by rote learning method. It expects the faculties to be the experimentalists. Okay, faculties, before experimenting these kind of activities in the classroom, they themselves should do self experimentation on all these approaches. Okay, when a faculty, when he or she, when they started to do all these kind of experimentations, self experimentations within themselves, obviously all those things will be reflected to the student community, and the outcome is that a student will be of multifaceted talents. Okay, every student in your classroom will be of multifaceted identity. So there lies the success of a teacher. And as all you know, in the current scenario, the role of a teacher or the success of a teacher lies not in producing a good not in producing good bookworms, whereas the success and the role of a teacher in the contemporary times, where it lies is that what is that they should produce a good citizens to the globe. They should produce good educators to the globe. They should make them to think more than they should be able to think laterally. See, when self introspection, when a student undergoes self introspection, obviously he or she will start to question. When they start to question, the educators, as is the faculties who play the role of facilitators, they should be patient enough to answer the questions posted by the students. Okay, by doing so, what happens is that uh, what happens is that student will be unique, and the role of the role of a faculty gets enhanced, so that the minds of students will be enlightened. By default, the educators, the faculties will be the kindred spirit to the student community. This is what here. Next slide. Okay, and these are the references, and these are the two reference books which I just prepared for this webinar. It is on simple strategies for faculty. It is by Liza M. Nance, and it was published in the year 2018 by Rutgers Publishers. And next, another book is that a small teaching. Okay, everyday lessons from the science of learning, and it is by James M. Lang, and it was published in the year 2016. And if you have any queries, you can ask me, please. If you have any queries, you can just post it in the you can just post it in the chat box, and I'll be able to answer you people.
Okay, sir. So I'm back. So thank you for your presentation, and it
Yes,
was very well spoken and very well presented, and we learned a
thank you.
lot from it. So Now it's time for Q&A session. So
Yes, sir.
everyone in the comment section, I can see a lot of comments. Like a lot of people are thinking, and a lot of people are giving comments on like during the presentation they were commenting on the topic. So now I would like to invite the questions of the viewers.
Yes,
So
sir.
kindly ask the questions in the comment box. And meanwhile, sir, I have noted some points from your presentation, so I
Yes,
would
sir.
like to recall them.
Yes,
So
sir.
there is a approach like constructive approach in which uh, you told that the facilitator have to like engage the his pupils into some topic like according to regarding a poem or something, and then the students will interpret those poems, and then the teacher will comment and suggest and evaluate them. And then comes a collaborative approach in which the facilitator provides them some material, and the students make groups and they like comment on each other and give each other the feedback of what they learned. And then
Yes,
there
sir.
was integrative approach, so in which the teacher or facilitator asks the students to do something, and then they uh, after they plan it, they act on it, and then they observe the things and then reflect on what they learned. Then we have a reflective approach in which the pupils are supposed to relate the current topics with current happenings, like relating the theory to the practical life. Is that correct, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes,
So,
sir.
and last we had the inquiry approach in which the students and teachers as well are supposed to like learn new things daily and question everything and find new things and solutions to the problems. So that's how I summarized it with
Yes, sir.
me, like took the notes,
Yeah.
and I hope the viewers also took notes. It was very a wonderful presentation. So now I invite the questions. So
Yes, sir.
here we have now the questions are coming in. So, and I want to let the audience know that the certificates will be provided to the participants, to the active participants, and after the Q&A session, we will provide you a link in the comment section, and you have to click on that link and fill the required fields, and then you will get the certificate through email. And make sure that you fill the fields correctly and you fill the forms only for yourself, the people who actively participated, and not for your friends. So please take that in consideration. And so now we will take the first question, that is, yes sir. So
Will
here is
this
the
be
first question.
will this be applicable even after the pandemic? Um, Ma'am, thank you so much for your question. See, I'm not able to get it exactly. It is. Will this be applicable even after the pandemic? Yeah, ma'am. See, all these pedagogical approaches, whatever I've discussed here, the authors of this particular book, they expect we as a faculty, we should practice it in our everyday life, in our everyday teaching life. We should practice it, not only in terms of virtual era, but even when we conduct classes through offline mode. We as a teacher should update ourselves. Ma'am, just imagine and see, ma'am, to answer your question exactly, when this pandemic boom happened, I still remember at the first phase of pandemic, so many educators around the globe, they were criticizing about the usage of ICT tools like Zoom and Google Meet or like StreamYard. They were criticizing it, whether these things can replace the classroom teaching or like that stuff. Okay, yes, classroom teaching is completely different completely different from the virtual teaching. Whereas what I can say here is that see, we as a faculty, we should get updated. We should get updated for every. We should get updated so that we can able to cater the students' need at any cost. Now, we cannot expect that to put it exactly. We should be ready to come out of our comfort zone. Now, this is the exact answer. When a
Okay,
faculty,
sir.
when he or she makes up their mind to get out of their comfort zone, obviously good things will happen to the student community. And not only after the pandemic, All these every day will be a big change to the teacher when he or she exhibits these kind of approaches in the four walls of the classroom, and also in the virtual classroom.
Okay, sir. Thank you for your answer. Now
Yes.
we will go on to another question. So here it is.
Sir, what pedagogical approach do you find relevant to task-based instruction method? Sir, here for this particular, first of all, thank you for this question, sir. I would go with enquiry-based approach, sir, because just imagine, see, we will be presenting as a even the person who has asked this, even you might disagree with me, but I find relevant is that inquiry based approach, because when we talk in terms of literary background, okay, when I teach a play to the students in the classroom, what I will do is that I will just first I will make them to understand the literary background, sir. Okay, on a particular literary background of a particular playwright, and what made the playwright to pen this kind of a play, and how literatures at that time were produced. When I just present these tasks, obviously the students, they will come to a conclusion by stating the fact that okay, this is the literary background at that time. So we can expect only authors of those age, they can produce only these kind of texts. So according to me, enquiry based approach will be the suitable thing for the task based instruction methods, sir, according to my perception, sir.
Okay, sir. Very well answered. Now we will move on to another question.
Yeah.
Are the techniques you discussed be applicable in distance learning?
Yes, ma'am. See, whatever technique. Okay, please first. I just wanted you to reframe this question, ma'am. Okay, the techniques which I discussed here. Okay, which I discussed here is not only for a particular group of people. It is not for a particular group of students. Okay, the role of a faculty is that wherever he or she is being placed, whether if she takes class for regular students, or if she takes class for students who are doing their courses through distance mode, whatever kind of a student's background might be, or whatever their mode of education should be, for everyone, faculty should be same. Okay, their mode of teaching should be same. We cannot. I'm not here to say that only for this particular group of learning students, faculty should exhibit exhibit this mode of teaching, or only for this particular only for this particular group of people, teachers should not exhibit this mode of teaching. I'm not here to tell like that. Whatever approaches I discussed here, it is common for everyone.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
So the next question, what do you think are the challenges that we encounter during pandemic, especially that we do not have face-to-face class? How can we personalize this approach?
Approach. Asim, thanks to this particular person who asked this question. See, the instead of saying challenges, okay, certain things what we enjoy here is that okay, in certain education institutions, they expect the students to turn on their videos when a professor is delivering the class. Okay, certain educational institutions, certain reputed universities or schools or colleges, they expect every student to turn on their videos when a particular person, when a professor handles the class. So at that time, what happened is that we can when students' video is being turned on, we can have a kind of self satisfaction that okay, students are being active in our classes. But more than that, in certain educational institutions, they are it is not mandatory for students to turn on their videos. At the time, what happened is that it lies in the hands of the students, ma'am. It will be good for them if they listen to us, and if they do not listen, we cannot do anything for it. Okay, if it is in the four walls of the classroom, we can go and instruct them. Okay, in the four walls of the classroom, moral values will be refrained, or moral values will be retained. When it comes to virtual era, to a certain extent, we can make students to be attentive, but we cannot go behind them. So this is one of the challenges we face. And how can we personalize, ma'am? Personalizing here is that we cannot say, see, uh, what I can say is that whatever teacher, he or she does self experimentation. When they do self experimentation, obviously obviously those experimentations will make them to identify the pros and cons. When they identify the pros and cons, those things will be reflected in the classrooms. Okay, this see the biggest challenges what we can say, what I personally encounter is that even in this webinars, okay, how many do you think whether all of them who are here will be listening to us? As the host is rightly mentioning, we will be giving certificates only to the active participants. So what we can tell is that it lies in the hands of the students, ma'am. At the same time, it's also the role of a faculty to make the lecture to be quite interesting. When things turned out to be interesting, obviously students will come out very effectively, ma'am. What I can say is that when a teacher, okay, when a faculty, when they makes the class to be interactive, it will be highly proactive for student community.
Okay, sir, very well answered.
Uh,
Now we have another question regarding difference between integrative and reflective approach. Since they undergo the same process, can you clear it, sir?
See, integrative and reflective approach, they undergo the same process. I agree with you. The difference here is that, okay, in integrative approach, the four LSRW skills matters a lot. The role of a faculty, he or she will present a problem. Okay, will present a problem in the class, and where they will ask the students. Okay, they will ask the students to present their ideas, and after that what happens, the faculty will come to a conclusion. Okay, she will come to a conclusion, and she will make every students to interact. By doing so, what happens is that by default every student will come up with one particular interpretation given by the student, where the faculty notice that this particular interpretation is good. So obviously students, they will start to reintrospect. Okay, they'll just start to review on this particular interpretation. Whereas when it comes to reflective approach is that, okay, faculty, they will be understanding. Okay, they will listen to all the feedbacks of a particular text given by the student, and they will observe it. Okay, in integrative approach, they will make the students to act. They will make the students to give. They will make the students to act as a reviewer, or they will make the students to act as a facilitator. Whereas in this reflective approach, faculties will understand, will notice all the points made by the students, and once they're done with the points, she will reflect on the ideas or the points uttered by the students, and she will try to connect it with the current happenings in the society, and she will try to connect it with the text. In the integrative approach, student plays the role of a facilitator at last, whereas in the reflective approach, right from the beginning till last, the faculty plays the role of a facilitator.
Okay, sir, very well explained. Now we will move on towards uh, like next question, which is what is the best approach that a teacher can use in a classroom with a conservative culture?
Ma'am, best approach, what I can say is that you can make students to be interactive, ma'am. Okay, interactive in the sense that what I'm saying is that when you present a particular topic in the class, you cannot talk for more than half an hour continuously, or even you cannot present the facts 1 hour continuously. If you handle a particular concept or particular text in the class for 15 minutes, you can talk, and after that you can ask them to reflect. You can ask them to reflect their views. Do they agree with your points? If they do not agree, why so? Like that, you can make it to be interactive, man. This is one of the best and healthy practice in a conservative culture in the four walls of the classroom.
Okay, sir.
Yeah,
Sir, so here we have got another question that the pedagogical approaches that you have mentioned, are they product oriented or process oriented?
both, both.
Both.
They are both. They are process oriented and also they are product oriented. See, even in the contemporary times, most of the universities, they undergo this concept of Bloom technology, Bloom taxonomy. Okay, that is said to be outcome based education. So everything is process oriented and also product oriented. When process becomes successful, obviously the products are said to be the students. When the process becomes very fruitful one, obviously students are the beneficiaries. This
All,
is the things.
all right, sir. So now we have got another question. Says, how do these pedagogies could elevate the quality of education in this mode of teaching and learning setup?
How do these pedagogies could evaluate the quality of education in mode of teaching and learning setup? Um, yeah, ma'am. As I answered on the previous question, what I said was certain universities around the globe they started to implement the concept of outcome-based education (OBE). Okay, in this particular outcome-based education, they make the students to think. Okay, they make the students to analyze. Okay, so these pedagogies, okay, see how do these pedagogies see quality of education as we all know. See, education will be of more quality when it is in the hands of good teachers. Okay,
Right,
when
sir.
when it is in the hands of a good teachers, education will be a quality one than being a qualitative one. Okay, when it's being in the hands of good teachers, obviously, or when it's being in the hands of good educators, obviously education turns out to be a quality one instead of being a qualitative one. And ma'am, what see in this mode of teaching and learning, we see we cannot blame the ambience which are around us. Okay, as a faculties, we are put to a threat to complete our syllabus. Okay, we have to eradicate those barriers, ma'am. We have to eradicate those barriers. When we change our mode of teaching to a greater extent, what happens is that what students will be able to come out of their cocoon. See, the thing is that one of the basic thing for a faculty is that they should make the student to eradicate this concept of fear. When this particular concept of fear is being eradicated, obviously student will be more attentive in the class, and there lies the success of a teacher.
All right, sir.
Yeah,
So now we will go for another question.
yeah,
That
sir,
is,
we can go as much as question, no problem. Is it
okay, sir.
okay? uh, is it possible to hybridize those pedagogical approaches? If so, what will hybridized pedagogical approaches looks like? Uh, yeah, it is possible, ma'am. It is possible to hybridize these pedagogical approaches. Yeah. If so, uh, partially it will be like of a conservative classroom culture, ma'am. Partially, when all these pedagogical approaches when they get hybridized, partially it will be a conservative classroom culture. Partially, because I cannot say entirely, because in a conservative culture only teacher will be interacting, students will not even open their mouths. Whereas in the contemporary times, after this so many methods, we can say to a certain extent these approaches can be hybridized, and even after becoming hybridized, they can partially be a conservative culture. Yeah,
Yes, sir. We have another question. That
yeah,
education is not
education
limited
is not.
only to normal
I will
people.
read, sir. Education
Okay,
is not
sir.
limited only to a normal people, right? Even those who have disability deserve education. So, what approach effective for this? Um, Ma'am, see, thank you for, first of all for asking this question. When it comes to educate, okay, education is for everyone. Okay, education is for everyone, and even for the people, even for the children who are differently able. For those people, we have got the software called Braille software. We have got a software called Braille software, and also at the same time through this Braille software we can enter. Okay, students those who are differently able, they can understand things very effectively. Even I could find in certain webinars which I attended long back, there will be so many sign interpreters. Okay, sign interpreters, that is people those who can't hear to the speakers what they are saying. There will be sign interpreters, they will be interpreting the words which we utter, so that they can understand. And for the people those who can't hear, they can use this Braille technique, ma'am. So the role of sign interpreters, Braille technique, and other certain techniques are there which I'm completely unaware of it. Sorry for it. Okay, for this differently able children, we can go with Braille technique, and also the role of sign interpreters. It plays a vital role, and it is prevalent in the so many webinars which I attended, ma'am.
Right, sir. So now we will look for some more questions and then
Yeah,
we will
yeah.
conclude the session. So I will just look for the relevant questions. Right. Just wait a minute. I'm
Okay,
looking
sir.
for.
No problem.
Okay, sir. So here we have one question.
How to promote inclusive education through blended learning? Sir, I hope you will be aware of this concept of e-learning. E-learning providing e-content to the student community. Okay, in certain reputed universities, in certain reputed colleges, what do they do is that the faculties of those particular institutes or of particular universities, what they will do is that they will be taking a few very basic concepts or of a particular unit or of a particular concept, and they will be viewing and they will be taking online class, and it will be displayed in the website portal of the particular institutions. So obviously there comes a blended learning, sir. Blended learning is the usage of ICT tools. Okay, just imagine, see, even this webinar is said to be a e-content tool, sir. It is a blended learning concept, sir. All of us are viewing it through StreamYard, through YouTube live streaming. So blended learning is a phenomenon which is happening unconsciously in our everyday lives, sir. So this is what I can say.
All right, sir.
Yeah.
So okay. So I want to uh, say something to the viewers that we are getting the comments and the older comments are like going uh, up, or you can say out of the screen. So if you have questions and haven't answered yet, then please comment them again so we can like mention them once more.
Sir,
So
sorry, sir. I could find one person named. She has Maria Nizar. Sir, please ask my question. I need a guide on it.
yes, sir, I have seen that question, and
Yeah,
I want her to like comment that question again so we can like show it on the screen.
yeah, yeah, sure, sir. Even I'm also looking on it.
Yes, sir. So, Maria Nisar, please ask your question again so we can mention it. And if anyone else has some question, then they might please ask the questions, and we will continue the webinar for like uh, 12 more minutes, and then we will like distribute the certificates. But you will only get certificates if you fill the feedback form, of which the link will also be available in the comment section. So, Maria Nisa, can you please ask your question again in comments so we can?
Sir,
Uh,
if sir, can you just type? Can you just type it to her so that she'll be able to view it?
like
You can tell
I
Maria
asked her
Nizar.
in comments.
Yeah, yeah, I can ask her.
Okay. So, Maria Nisa, we are waiting for your question. Okay. So I have commented for Maria. Meanwhile, we have another question.
Yes, sir.
That is how these pedagogical approaches support students' higher order thinking skills in distance learning. Okay, we have also got the question of Maria Nisa. Thank you for writing
Yeah,
your question again. Thank you very much,
yeah.
Maria Nisa. So, sir, after this question, we will take Maria's question.
Yeah. How do these pedagogical approaches support students' higher order thinking skills in distance learning? Sir, all these skills, okay, all these pedagogical approaches, first we should understand very clearly, sir. Thing is that all these pedagogical approaches are being framed in a such a way that all these things should be executed effectively by the faculty members. Okay, it is up to us to create, sir. It is up to us to create. Okay, even though the ambience is not good for us, with the selective ambience, with a particular ambience, so we as a faculty member, I don't think that I'm just moralizing the answer. we as a faculty members, we can create miracles in the four walls of the classrooms. Okay, we can create miracles in the four walls of the classroom. See, listeners can be of various modes. They can be from regular mode, distant, whatever it is. When see, just imagine, Caesar, when a faculty, when he or she goes and stands in the classroom, when he or she presents their ideas in the virtual era, when he or she is clear with their content, okay, when they're able to execute the things properly, then obviously all the approaches will be implemented effectively. It can be of any mode, sir. This is my answer, sir. So you're not audible.
Okay, sorry, sir, I was just
Okay,
muted.
okay.
So thank you for your answer, and I hope it suffices the question. So now we will get the question of Ma'am Maria. So, sir, I want to ask that I am writing research paper on discourse analysis of Pakistani invitation cards during pandemic. Please tell methodology and analysis for it.
See, okay. Yeah, thank you, Maria Nizam, for your question. Okay, see, first of all, try to understand the meaning of discourse. Okay, discourse is said to be a series of events. Okay, discourse is said to be a series of events. And your hypothesis is that analysis of Pakistani invitation cards during pandemic. Okay, for this, you have to undergo this concept of a reflective and inquiry based approach. Okay, you have to just do a research on it. What kind of content should be incorporated in this particular research article? What is a research gap? Okay, research gap here is that, see, so many of them would have typed invitation cards. Okay, okay, so many. Okay, how unique is your invitation card from others? And for you, the main hypothesis is pandemic. Okay, what you can do here is that you have to study the research gap. Okay, even after this pandemic boom, we could find so many marriages happening with a very limited audience, with a very limited family members. So you have to do a brief, instead of saying, you have to do a detailed research gap. You have to identify the research gap in it. After that, you can bring out with a very good paper. Because just imagine and see, because very frankly saying, preparation of invitation cards and everything, it varies country to country. Okay, it varies country to country. When you if you take in my, if you take from my background, what I can say is that, in my invitation cards, okay, if I print the invitation card without the name of my relatives, that is said to be the end of my day. And they will try to bring down my family's reputation even in the time of pandemic. They expect that even though we are not physically present there, but our presence should be there, at least the invitation card. And what do we think? See, it is a pandemic time. We just wanted to reduce the cost in all aspects. Whereas people of my clan, they will not understand my situation. So, okay, I'm just telling you. As I said before, this was a series of events. You have to do a detailed study of happenings which is marriage happenings of invitation cards in and around your country. Then you can come up with a very brilliant research article.
Okay, sir. So thank you for answering this question.
Yeah,
However, this was not relevant to our topic, but thank you for
yeah,
like enlightening her.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, sir. And thank you for questioning, Maria. So now we have another question. How to combine educational materials, applying certain teaching methods in the online classes using virtual platforms such as Zoom. Thank you in advance.
Ma'am, if you take Zoom, okay, we have got so many breakout rooms within Zoom itself. I hope the person who asked me this question and the viewers, what I'm saying here is that, okay, even last month I attended one of the online workshop. Okay, I attended it. Okay, even in that particular workshop, okay, see, the one of the basic trend of the workshop is that they should make the participants to sit and work on a particular topic. Okay, what they did was, in the Zoom, they created so many breakout rooms. In the Zoom, we have got a feature called breakout rooms, and that in that room, what happens is that we in that particular workshop, we as a 40 members were there, and we were divided into 10 groups. Okay, and for all those 10 groups, okay, there was a moderator. There was a moderator, and that moderator will be viewing it from the central Zoom room. What we are discussing what we are discussing. and whether our discussion is fruitful. Are we on the right track? And when our discussion goes out of the context, he will be insisting us in the Zoom chat box, dear presenters of this particular breakout room, you're not on track. So like that we can make use of this thing. We can make use of technology to a greater extent, ma'am. Educational materials is that what we can do is that, ma'am, even we can play a video on the Zoom. I hope you can understand, ma'am. Through Zoom we can also play videos and everything, and we can do it, ma'am. Technology, okay, technology is for our welfare. Okay, but whereas the saddest truth is that people, they use it in a very negative sense. Technology has got so many wonderful aspects. It has got so many unique, multifaceted aspects. We have to explore on it, man. This is what I can say. As I gave you the example of breakout rooms in the workshop, in a Zoom room. This is what I can tell.
Yes, sir. I also agree with you on the blended
Yeah,
like rooms. My
yeah,
teacher also used it once,
yeah,
and it created groups and very interactive environment. And
yeah.
she was coming once a while to check the groups how they are doing, and then
Doing it.
again joining them all together and asking the
Yes,
questions.
yes.
So I totally agree with you. So, sir, I think we will just take three more questions. So
Okay.
that should be relevant to the topic, and then we will conclude our session.
Yeah,
Okay, sir.
yeah.
So, okay, sir. So, some commentators are like asking for your emails. So, sir, are you like okay with it sharing your email with them if you agree to it?
Yes, you can share it to them.
Okay, sir. So anyone who needs the email address of Sir Santosh, they can email us at linguistics and pedagogy webinars at gmail.com, and then we will send the email to whomsoever is interested in getting the email and in getting in touch with Sir. So now, okay, sir. So that's our question number one from the last three questions.
Okay. I think you have changed the questions, huh?
Yes, sir. Is question visible to you?
Okay, okay. What is your take about students telling that they are not learning anything through online despite using a blended learning method, other learning style, and how do we deal with them? Uh, Sir, see, I think this question is quite complicated. Okay, we can see. We should see our teaching methodology should we can go flexible in our teaching approach, sir. Okay, we can be flexible to the student community. We can be flexible in our teaching method to the student community. Whereas if they say they are not interested, we should make them to be. We should make them to get interested, sir. Okay, we should make them to get interested. Okay, see, so it is a need of the hour. Without technology, education cannot survive in the coming in the coming years. Without education, without technology, education cannot survive, sir. See, Zoom, all these virtual platforms might be new to us. Okay, might be new to us in the beginning, whereas now it has become a recurring phenomenon. So we have to make them to get introduced to these techniques, sir. We should make them to get introduced to this mode. We should not give them a room to say that we are not interested. We should make them to say that they are interested to learn to through these kind of modes of teaching.
All right, sir.
Yeah.
So now we have some questions. Like I see some questions. They are like repetitive, and in a sense,
Okay.
like they are asking that if these approaches are applicable to both face-to-face and also in online classes. Would they work in both scenarios?
Okay. Okay.
So, sir, what's your take on it? Like, would they work on both scenarios? Like, it's not question; it's repetitive question. A lot of people have asked earlier.
No,
So,
what questions, sir? Can you just come again? Sorry.
So
Regarding.
are these
Uh,
approaches applicable to both face-to-face and also online classes?
yeah. Yeah, for see, as I'm repeatedly answering, okay, all these approaches are applicable to both on and offline mode of classes and also to regular and distance mode of students.
Okay,
None
sir.
of the
Thank you.
approach, none of the approach, see, none of the approach is for only for a particular group. All the approaches are for the benefit of the student community, and it is in the hands of teachers to make it interesting.
All right, sir. So I hope all of the people who asked this question are now satisfied with the answer. So now we have the question number two. That these questions that you have shared with us, do you think that these are applicable for all grade levels up to college levels?
See, ma'am, yeah, I completely agree with you because college is said to be a place where the role of a faculty there, where he or she will just give only lecture. Okay, they will just give a glimpses of the content of what they're going to discuss. Whereas remaining part of a professor here is that they should make the students to learn. They should make the students to get a spark of their subject. So see, right from undergraduate till research till PhD level, this kind of approaches is applicable, man. It's applicable. We can make it 100%. I can say it is applicable to all grads in your colleges.
All right, sir. So now we will choose. Like I would like try to choose the last question very wisely, as it is going to be the
No problem, sir.
end of the uh, webinar. So
Yeah.
okay, sir. So can we take two questions instead of one?
Yeah, no problem for me. You can just go ahead with as much questions as possible from your side.
Okay, sir. So now this is the second last question, and then after this we will just take
Okay.
one more question, and
Okay.
that would be it. Okay, sir.
In one classroom, variety of students, each and everyone needs or suited for a specific approach. I mean, okay, a particular approach is applicable to one student, but not to others. So how can we deal that? Yeah, it's okay. It is a fantastic question. First of all, see, ma'am, every student in a classroom is being gifted with very different talents. Okay, okay, everyone is being unique. Every student is being blessed with a very different talent, and we should, okay, see, almost all the approaches which we discussed here will not be applicable to all the students. It varies student to student. What we can do is that we can make them to get engaged to our mode of teaching. See, okay, what I'm saying is that when a particular student is being attracted towards inquiry based approach, let him learn through it. Okay, we as a faculty should exhibit all this mode of teaching. Okay, we should exhibit all the mode of teaching, and our duty is that we should make them to get practice with at least with any one of these techniques which we have discussed today. We have to give the spark to them, man. It's up to them to carry on it. Once we give the spark to student community, they will take it to a very greater extent.
All right,
That's what
sir.
I
Very
feel.
well answered. Very well answered.
Yeah.
So, so here we have the last question of our webinar.
Yeah.
Last
Is
but not the least.
technology okay? Is technology more a driver of student disengagement with learning, or more of a driver student engagement in learning? Sir, as I offer, sir, first of all, thank you for this question because this question it makes the sense of all the webinars happening around the globe. Okay, sir, technology, okay, each and everything, okay, technology, or instead of saying technology, each and everything, okay, each and everything present in the world has got pros and cons. It is up to the individuals how we use it. Technology, okay, technology is said to be a student engagement. Technology, it enhances students' community very effectively. So just imagine and see, even for this particular webinar, I just contact this particular webinar through only through social networks. Okay, just connect this particular network to only through the social network. So it is in the hands of the students how they use it. The hands of students how they use it, sir. Everything lies in the hands of the individuals, sir. Okay, individual formation and individual characteristics matters a lot. And of course, technology to a certain extent, it acts as a hindrance to students' growth, but how they use it that matters a lot. But in my case, what I can say is that. It lies in the hands of the individuals how they use it. So without technology, we cannot survive in this world, sir. Either a teacher nor a student, without knowing the advancements in technologies, we cannot survive, sir. As I said in the
Right.
right beginning of the webinar, um, technology cannot replace teachers, but technology in the hands of great teachers can be transformational.
Very well answered, sir. Thank you
Okay.
for your answers and your time. Really appreciate
Okay.
it. And also, the audience is very engaging and like
Okay,
very
sir.
active. And we have also got such a good feedback from everyone. Like
Okay, sir.
they are saying this was a good webinar and they are praising you and everything. So I will just mention one of the comments.
Okay,
So,
sir.
okay, sir. So this one is
One
for you,
question that's
and
going.
there is also a lot of other
Okay.
uh,
Okay. Okay.
similar
Thank you. Thank you.
thank yous. Okay, sir. So
Thank you. Thank you so much.
now we will go on for like the certificates. So I will share the link with you all in the comment sections. So all of you will have to fill it correctly and make sure that you write your name and email like very correct to every alphabet, because I have found in the previous webinars that a lot of people write their email incorrectly. There might be an error in, like, instead of Gmail they might miss out the M from the Gmail and the certificate isn't sent to them. So make sure you write your emails and your names correctly in the form. So now I'm sharing the link of the form. You can access the link. Make sure you have a Google account. Make a Google account. If you don't have a Google account, you won't be able to fill the form. So make sure you have that, and we will have this like link available to you for 1 hour or so, and then we will close the link to the feedback forms. So again, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir,
Okay, sir.
Santosh, for your
Welcome, sir.
time and like your answers and uh, sharing the knowledge with all of the people here, and the participants were also good. And so this is the end of our webinar. We hope to get more lectures from you as well. So
Okay.
we'll see you
Sure,
soon,
sir.
and
Sure,
also
sir.
the audience. Thank you for participating, and we will see you again as well. So
Okay, sir.
that's it for the webinar. Thank you for your time. So you will also receive a certificate for being
Okay,
such
sir.
a wonderful presenter and speaker. So thank you very
Okay,
much.
sir. Thank you so much, and thanks to all the viewers who are viewing it through YouTube. Thank you so much. Without you people, all these webinars wouldn't have been successful. Thank you so much for spending your time with us. Thank you. We'll meet you soon in the other upcoming webinars. Stay safe and stay healthy, and I wish you all a very happy and peaceful life and a happy learning to all of you. Thank you, people.
Okay, sir. Thank you very
Thank you,
much.
sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
So now the audience, the viewers, try to fill the form as soon as possible. I will keep sharing the form link, and you will have the form link are just similar. I am just commenting it again, so it just appears on the top or anywhere, so you can access it. So uh, okay, so I'm sharing the link. Kindly fill the forms, and once you are done with the form, then you can like do your own thing. And the webinar has just ended officially, and I will just end the broadcast after we get your feedbacks on the forms. Try to mention your correct name and correct email so you can get the certificates. Otherwise, you won't be able to receive certificates. So, thank you, participants. Thank you, viewers. Yes. So, how many days will we wait for the e-certificate? So, Bill has questioned it. You, all of you, will get your e-certificates within 3 days. Like today is 22 October. You will receive your certificates by 25 October. And if someone wants Sir Santosh's email and they want to get in touch with him, they can also email us at uh, linguistics and pedagogy webinars at gmail.com. Okay, so I'm sharing the feedback forms link again. So kindly fill it. Okay, we have got 145 responses so far, and 146, 150, 152. We are getting the responses. So thank you for joining in. Hope to see you in next webinar as well. Keep in touch with our Facebook page, and also uh, invite your friends to like avail this opportunity, and we will try to keep arranging more and more webinars if you keep joining them. So kindly fill the forms for the certificates, right? The people who fill the forms, like the feedback form host link is being shared in comment section, will receive the certificate. So kindly fill it with the right information and make sure you write your correct name. The name you will mention on the form will be written on your certificate. So make sure that you write the correct name and spelling and capitalization, everything. So, and in your the name field, just mention your name. You don't have to write any qualification, just the name which you want on the certificate. Just write that particular name, and of course yours name, not someone else's. Okay, so I'm sharing the link again in the comment section. So those who haven't filled the forms or haven't found the link yet can find the link in the comment sections. So okay, thank you. Thank you everyone for being such good participants and commentators. We really appreciate it. Right. I've sent the link again in the comment sections. So we have 221 responses, 224, and these are increasing responses so far. So thank you for your timely response for on the certificate or on the form. And so thank you. A lot of people are commenting. Thank you. So thank you as well, because this all happened and this all become possible because you joined us. So that's why we thank you for participating. All right. So if someone has some questions regarding our these sessions or regarding the form, or if someone is facing problem in the form, kindly comment it and I will try to help you out. So I'm sharing the link again. All right. So we have 250 responses so far. All right, we have 110 active viewers. Okay, so if you have filled the form already and you are still watching the live webinar, kindly comment that you are done with filling the form. Just comment done if you have filled the form. I'm going to share the link once again. Okay, the link has been shared. All right, so we have got 256 responses on the form. All right, so comment done if you are done with filling the form. Okay, so I am seeing a lot of done, sir. Done, 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 done. All right. So we have got 262 responses so far. I will share the link once again, if in case if somebody hasn't got it yet. Feedback form link is given in the comment section. Kindly fill it and comment done, and we will provide you or what we can say, we will award you the certificate through email. Right. So 268 responses so far, and the number has stopped. So I think all of you are done with filling the form. We will wait for another 5 minutes in case if somebody is facing some problem, they can comment it, and I will try to help you out. And thank you for your feedbacks. And it was also great to have you guys. Like, you all are very active and good participants, you can say. Very good participants. Okay, so here is a link again in the comment section. So I'm with you for another 4 minutes. If you have some question regarding the form, or if you have some suggestion regarding the webinars, you can comment it. All right. So yes, I want to mention again that if someone wants the email address of Sir Santosh, our speaker, he or she can email at linguistics and pedagogy webinars at gmail.com, and we will provide the email address of Sir Santosh to him or her. There's one question: is the registration is still available? Guys, you don't have to register now. If you have watched the live webinar and if you have filled the feedback form, then you don't require a registration. Like, you are here, so you don't need a registration beforehand. Registration forms are only for one purpose. One of them, oh, sorry, for two purposes. One of them is to know how many people are interested in the topic, and the other reason for the registration form is to like send the joining links to all the people who are interested and who have filled the feedback registration forms. And the feedback form is the one which will uh, help you to get your certificates. So if you haven't filled the registration form and you have joined the live webinar, and if you have filled the feedback form, then it's completely okay. You will get your certificates. Okay. So once you have filled the form, you can uh, like you can stop watching. We will be having think more in the session. We are just waiting for some queries if someone has it. Uh, so I will be sharing the link of the form once again. All right. All right. Okay. Okay, so guys, control C, control V. Okay, I'm pasting the feedback forms link again, and we have currently 68 online viewers. Okay, I'm seeing a lot of comments of thank you and done. So thank you guys for joining in and being such good participants. So we have got 290 responses for the certificate. If somebody hasn't fill the form. Kindly fill the form with your correct name which you want on the certificate and also the email. Make sure you write the correct email and the correct name. Okay, all right, all right. Okay, so I think everybody has got everybody has got the link, and 295, 296 responses. So I will just leave the feedback form open for a while in case if some people have joined the webinar late, or if they are watching like from the back. So the feedback form link will be open for one more hour after the webinar ends, and you can fill it. And please do not give the link to somebody who hasn't watched the webinar. Only the active participants deserve it. So don't send it to your friends or anyone who hasn't joined the webinar. Okay, so thank you everyone, and thank you for participating and engaging in the webinar, and hope to see you in the next webinar. And once again, if you want the link, or if you want the email of Sir Santosh, and if you want to get in touch with him, then you can email us at linguistics and pedagogy webinars at gmail.com, and we will send you Sir's email address, and you can contact him. And we also have a Facebook page. It's also named Linguistics and Pedagogy Webinars, and keep in touch with that. And we also provide the information of our upcoming webinars here soon. And we also have a surprise for you participants in maybe uh, second week of November. The When will be the next webinar, sir? Next webinars information will be shared on Facebook page soon, so keep in touch with that. Okay, thank you everyone again, and thank you for participating. And now I will just end the webinar. And thank you, goodbye, and good morning, good evening, good night to anyone. Like, there are participants from different countries, so whichever, whatever time it is for you. So okay, without further ado, I'm just going to end the webinar, and thank you again for participating. Thank you very much, and goodbye.